Excellence lives here in northeastern Indiana. It's reflected in more than 200 nationally recognized degrees. It drives our Division I sports. It's alive in our campus life. Excellence has a name, IPFW. Around our campus, around the country, around the world. Excellence lives here. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. One university, two great names.
For nearly 60 years, Arts United has worked to bring the rich, diverse talents of our region together through support of the arts, socially, culturally, and economically. Arts United, providing a home for the arts in Northeast Indiana.
This is Arts Weekly. Arts Weekly is produced in cooperation with the College of Visual and Performing Arts at IPFW, offering degrees in fine arts, music, theater, and visual communication and design.
Welcome to Arts Weekly. I'm John O'Connell, Dean of the IPFW College of Visual and Performing Arts. Later on today's show, we'll meet actors Jay Duffer and Josh Cookingham from Huntington University's production of Red, opening February 13th. But first, I'm joined by Max Meyer from the Fort Wayne Museum of Art, who's here to talk about the upcoming annual Scholastic Art and Writing Awards, which takes place this Sunday, February 9th. Welcome to Arts Weekly, Max. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much.
I think this is our first opportunity to visit with you on Arts Weekly about this exciting event.
It is.
Before we talk about the Scholastic Writing and Art Award, tell me a little bit about your history with the museum.
I started back in 2002, so I've been there over 10 years. So I started off as a volunteer during a summer camp, and I really work well with kids.
What is your educational background?
I actually was formerly a web designer and then worked on my liberal arts degree at the University of Arizona. I studied with a very famous artist. His name's Simon Donovan. Got to work with him for a year and a half. He would work with at-risk youth in a mall setting because they would skip school and go to the mall anyhow. So they just decided to educate the kids in the mall itself.
Are you from Arizona originally then?
No, I'm actually from upstate New York. I was born in Oneonta and grew up 2 hours south of Buffalo, New York.
Well, let's talk about the Scholastic Regional Art and Writing Awards. I have a little bit of inside view of this because I've been on the advisory board for a few years, and it's an incredible organization. Let's talk first about the national scope of this program and where it started nationally and how it started nationally.
Okay, the program itself started in Pittsburgh. It was created by the struggling magazine company, the Scholastic, by Robbie Robinson 91 years ago. And it was basically, he worked with an advisory board of teachers, and they simply asked the teachers what would benefit you so that you would have more money to buy my magazine.
Smart marketing.
Smart marketing, right. And so what he did was he just created this competition because they wanted to have a field of play similar to the football and baseball programs that were thriving in Pittsburgh. And so these teachers would show off the quality of their education and their programs, just like the baseball and football programs.
And what grades were they showing off, so to speak?
I'm not sure in the very beginning, but now it's from 7th to 12th grade, so middle school and high school.
And it's a regional conference, and how long has it been in Fort Wayne?
It's been in Fort Wayne, I believe, just about 30 years. It's kind of fuzzy because it started off in LS Ayers and then eventually moved to the Art Museum as an exhibition, and we've administered the program for 10 years now.
So this is our
10th year.
10th
Yes.
anniversary of the museum administering it.
Most definitely.
And it's a pretty full-time job.
It is a tremendous undertaking. I will get bronchitis by the end of this for sure. There is, every single year I'll have an ear infection, or at least one. So it's a tremendous undertaking, but it's also a giant love of mine.
Well, let's go through the particulars of how the program works. It is, as you say, a way for area schools to highlight the talent in writing and art within the school system. But you send out requests for teachers to submit for their students. Is that correct?
Most definitely. So this year with the weather, it's been incredibly challenging. just to give you an idea, there was only 3 days for teachers really to submit their work online and then get us the forms because of the Snowmageddon.
Right.
And so we had only 500 entries on that Monday, 3 days before the entry deadline, and we got 4,300 entries. And that just,
That's
I mean,
incredible.
it shows you a bunch of different things, but the two things that I'd like to highlight, how amazing our local teachers are. They're just so dedicated to making a difference in those kids' lives. But it also shows you how important they take this program as a whole. And a lot of it is because there is a benefit to the students. We've sort of been a catalyst in getting scholarships for kids. Over $1 million in scholarships have been offered to our kids each of the past 6 years. It's been a tremendous economic boom for a lot of families.
So you have to evaluate 4,300
Yeah.
writing and art
Yeah,
submissions.
It's
That-
amazing.
It is amazing.
Like,
That's huge. I mean, when I did it for you, I thought 70 plays by teenagers was difficult to read, but
Right.
4,300,
It'd be
that's
4,300. Yeah. Now, and to be fair, looking at artwork and judging artwork is a lot less labor-intensive than writing.
right.
And we have over 100 judges read the writing program. You know, there's 1,500, almost 1,600 pieces of writing this year, and that is obviously the most challenging. And then there's some categories that are a little bit more challenging
Now,
than others.
you've streamlined the process of evaluation for the judges, though. When I was judging for you 5 or 6 years ago, we were in a hall and we passed hard
Yeah.
copies around. But it's
Right.
now digitized and it's online, and the judges have a much easier time. They can sit at home with a coffee and a fireplace and
Yes, most
read
definitely.
7th grade poetry.
Yeah, yeah, 7th grade poetry, the hardest category.
It
yes.
is the hardest category,
Yes,
but it's pretty astounding what comes out.
Yeah, no, and a lot of judges really like the judging program. The digitizing of the reading of the work for the writing program is really pretty fantastic. The art, it's a little bit of a letdown for us because we were one of the last regions in the country to actually judge live work because it's the best way to actually judge the work itself.
How many regions in the country are there? Do you know that?
116.
116.
Correct.
So they submit, 4,300 artists and writers submit to this program.
Yeah.
We evaluate it, and then what happens?
There's gold keys selected. Our region is up on the screen now.
Oh, it is, right.
And so you see 26 counties around Fort Wayne is the blue area, the art area, and then the yellow area is the writing, which makes up 52 counties. And that region right there was 4th best in the entire country in overall awards received, but we had the highest award total per entry in the country.
Of
And we
116 regions.
Of 116 regions. The only places to beat us in the entire country, the city of New York, where the program's based, the entire state of Massachusetts, and the entire state of Georgia.
That's incredible.
It is incredible.
But I have to say that is a lot of that is due to your work, Max. You were recognized on the stage last year at the National Award Ceremony. Both you and Jocelyn were
Right.
recognized because of what you do in our region. So we're really lucky to have
Thank you
you
very
sort
much.
of steering this energy.
There's a lot of work that goes from the museum staff, and it is the entire museum staff. I am sitting here, but there is so much support from board all the way down to the guards. You know, everybody loves to see it because we're accomplishing something. We're serving the public.
So after we've evaluated them and after the jury has looked at them, what happens to them locally?
Well, we digitize them, we label them, we exhibit them at the Art Museum, and this Sunday we're preparing for this amazing award ceremony. 2,200 people come. There'll be about 600 kids that'll go across the stage, get their awards. We're actually really lucky because one of our former winners, Brett Goliff, former winner from Angola High School, I heard this great whisperings of him when I first took over the program and helped out. And he had this sneaker fetish. He loved sneakers. He wanted to become a sneaker designer. And he had this part-time job where he was, you know, buying shoes and storing them because he just loved them as pieces. His art teacher, Jeanette Meyer, who just recently retired, got him in connection with a designer at Nike and steered him through his education. Well, he made the switch recently from sneakers to cars, and he had an amazing role designing the interior and the exterior color, the interior as a whole, and the exterior color of the 2014 Detroit Auto Show Car of the Year, the Corvette Z06.
The Corvette?
Yeah.
So he's moved from tennis shoes to the Corvette.
Right. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I kind of like that change. I'd moved from tennis shoes to Corvette as I grew up as well.
Yes.
Well, good for him. And he's the guest speaker. He's the keynote speaker this Sunday.
He is the keynote speaker, and he is thrilled. He is just absolutely thrilled.
He'll inspire a lot of young people, a lot of young artists.
The coolest part is he's showing his first Scholastic Award that he won as a freshman all the way through his high school career to designing the Corvette.
Does that kick off the actual show at the museum then, or is the show
yeah.
at the museum another time?
No, the show will be on view after the award ceremony, and it'll be up until April 6th. So it's a little overwhelming. There's like over 1,000 pieces of work, 500 pieces of art, tons of writing. It's pretty amazing.
Do you display everyone's, or are there you actually display all of the pieces, or
we
are there
display all the winners?
Winners, okay, yeah, all right, yeah.
In one form or another, yeah.
Is this ceremony on Sunday, open to the public?
It is. Seating will be slightly limited. I mean, it's going to be a packed house.
Right.
But
it's at 1 o'clock.
It's at 1 o'clock.
The Fort Wayne Center.
Correct.
What happens to the winners on a more national basis? So once it's done here.
So the hardest thing is the judges select out the gold keys, the silver keys, and the honorable mentions out of the 4,300 pieces. The gold keys from both art and writing compete on a national level in New York. And those kids, those pieces of work compete against kids from LA, Chicago, Indianapolis, all over the place. And the work is selected on 3 basic criteria: originality, personal voice, what you have to say about the world, and then technical skill. The thing that's most amazing to me about this program is it's sort of giving teenagers their freedom of speech back.
Great. And how can we get information about this Fort Wayne Museum or this particular event?
Well, you can go to our website. I mean, obviously, it's FWMoA.org, and click on the pre-K through 12, and there'll be information about the Scholastic program.
And this specific exhibition will run through April 6th,
April
correct?
6th, correct.
Well, Max, thank you for joining me, and I
Thank
look
you very
forward
much.
to the event on Sunday.
Yes,
I'll be there.
I believe, are receiving an award.
Well, we won't talk about that,
okay.
but I'm excited to be there
Right.
and share and celebrate with 500 or 600 young people.
Thank you very much.
After this short break, we'll hear more about Huntington University's upcoming production of Red. So please take this minute to view our performance calendar of what's coming up in our area. We'll be right back with Jay Duffer and Joshua Cookingham.